ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो नमो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। Sundarakandam is the beautiful kandam of Srimad Mahavalmiki Ramayanam. Here the messenger of Bhagavan Sri Ram, Hanuman, has gone to the region of that person who we call as Adharma in order to find the whereabouts of Sri Sita Devi. And whenever a person goes, remember, life itself is such a complex arrangement that when we are given a task to do, or when we take up on ourselves a task, whether we are given a task to do by our elders or by the competent people, or when we on our own take up a task to do, so we have to pass through so many different stages of life, so many different situations. It's not just like that, go and fetch a glass of water. You say, just fetch a glass of water. I just go and water is ready for me there and I just immediately bring it in. It's not like that. Life is a complex organization of so many different types of situations. By the time I reach there to the glass of water, what all could have happened, we can't say. Whom, how many people we would have met, and what they would have spoken to us, what impression it makes upon us, and how we respond to that situation. It's a complex arrangement. So this complex arrangement of life slowly becomes easier and simpler for us when we have wisdom with us. When wisdom is with us, then what happens is this wisdom starts working in a very beautiful fashion. So even before we reach the spot to carry out that activity, we already have a better input from outside. From inside also we have inputs which take us in the right direction to be cautious. One of the things which we observe normally in the kitchen, what I observe normally in the kitchen here, dining hall, there is only one door to enter the dining hall, the other door is closed. So here through the door, people who have prasad also have to come, and even the ones who are going to serve also have to come from the same door. So when they come, 9 out of 10 people who come, whether it is children or elders, they don't see who else is coming that side. They don't observe at all whether somebody is coming this side, behind or forward, or left hand side, right hand side. So the awareness of others coming is almost nil. Even the persons who serve also, they are so committed to their work that they would carry the bucket and then just start walking towards the door. And a person coming from that side, he doesn't pause. Person going out from the hall doesn't pause for the other. Automatically, little slightly they may pause and go, but they don't give full way to everybody to come. So this awareness is absent. This awareness is something which will make our life much more better if we are aware and we start observing things still more keenly. So what happens, let us say, even before I reach the door, 2-3 steps away itself, I would have paused, just had a small look whether somebody is coming and then move ahead. You are able to follow the subtlety of this. It's not only that, there's only a situation, one particular situation I am telling you. Same way only, whenever we are going for any other activity also, if we see that somebody else is coming and also they are also coming for the same activity as we are, there is no doubt that we have got a freedom of movement. We have the freedom of movement. But at the same time, that freedom of movement is not an absolute freedom of movement. It is a freedom of movement which is relative. And this relative freedom of movement, when correctly implemented, it makes our life more meaningful, more filled with love and affection. It's like offering a seat to an elder person. Like offering a seat to an elder person. Just when you are about to take a glass, if somebody else has come to take a glass, you take it first, I'll take it later. So this type of small things, very, very minor things, they make a vast difference, and they build an impression about us in the minds of others. And thereby what happens? We ourselves would have built either a shield or an atmosphere of love and affection or resistance around us. We ourselves are building that. It's an invisible aura. It's an invisible aura which we are building around us, and that happens in social living. So now that Hanuman has gone, he has to face so many situations. It's not an ordinary situation. Goal is one, to find Sita Devi. But so many things are happening there which there is no need for Hanuman to actually have been confronted by that. But it's a must. That is the way the world is. So that is where our prudence and wisdom starts working. So let us see what the next in Hanuman's activity. Indriyanindriyarthaistu pancha panchabhiruttamai tarpayamasa mateva tada ravana palita Swargoyam devalokoyam Indrasyapi puri bhavet Siddhirveyam parahisya Ityamanyata marutihi Pradhyayata iva pashyat Pradipanstatra kanchanan Dhurtaniva mahadhurtair Devanena parajitan Deepanam cha prakashena Deepanam cha prakashena Tejasa ravanasya cha Archibhirbhushananam cha Archibhirbhushananam cha Pradiptetyabhyamanyata Tato pashyat kuthasinam Nana varnambarasrajam Sahasram varanarinaam Nana vesha vibhushitam Parivritte ardharatre tu Pananidgavashangatam Pananidravashangatam Kridittvoparatam ratrau Prasuptam balavattada Tat prasuptam प्रसुप्तं विरुरुचे निःशब्दान्तरभूषितं निःशब्दहंसभ्रमरं यथा पद्मवनं महत् Again, much more different details of Ravana's residence. That is, now you see some more psychological aspects of Ravana's residence there. Like a mother, the chamber protected by Ravana gratified on that occasion all the 5 senses of Hanuman with the excellent 5 objects of those senses. Normally, है आंख वो जो प्रभु का दर्शन किया करे, है शीश वो जो प्रभु के चरणों में झुका करे, बेकार वो मुख है जो लगे व्यर्थ बातों में, मुख है वो है जो हरि नाम का सुमिरन किया करे. So now you know the 5 senses. Eyes are very, very glorified when they see the form of Paramatma. Ears are glorified when they hear the glory of Paramatma. Then nose is glorified when it smells the perfumes or fragrant substances offered to Paramatma. The tongue is glorified when it tastes only prasad. And the head is glorified when it bows down at the feet of Paramatma. The hands are glorified when they are used for the seva of Paramatma. The feet are glorified when they walk towards the abode of Paramatma. All the entire parts of the body, when they are offered for the Paramatma Chintanam, then you see that becomes bhakti. But here, all the 5 senses are engaged of Hanuman, but seeing the worldly pleasures which are beautifully been arranged there for the sake of Ravana. The excellent 5 objects of those senses. Hanuman, son of the wind god, speculated that the place where he stood might indeed be paradise, or that it might be the realm of the principal gods, the city of Indra, the ruler of gods, or that it might be the realm of Brahma, the attainment of which constitutes the highest achievement in the material plane. So whatever one can see material plane, when I say material plane means whatever satisfies the 5 senses. So you need not have to go anywhere in search of anything. One abode, one place, one resort, everywhere, everything is there. You need not have to go in search of anything there. Because normally man has got so many aspirations. The aspirations can be divided into 2 types. One is called as the mundane, ihaloka, and then supramundane. Supramundane, or we call it as transcendental. The aspirations or desires of a human being. The first part of the desire is anything which is related to this earthly life. That is called as ihaloka sukham. Ihaloka sukham. That is called as mundane. The word mundane also comes from mondo, which means earth. In Italian, mondo means earth. So mundane comes from that only. That is related to the earth. Related to life here, whatever you wish, whatever it might be, they are all called as mundane only. Then comes the supramundane or yonder world. Suppose you leave from here. After you leave this body, is there anything? That is called as supramundane or transcendental. So 2 types of aspirations. So among these 2 aspirations, fulfillment of this mundane aspirations is with all the attention to the 5 senses. When you attend to all the 5 senses, that is what is called as decoration. That is what is called as a festivity. That is what is called as embellishment. Everything is that only, That is how how things become attractive in this world. How things become attractive in this world. The moment you get down from the flight in Bangalore airport, lose yourself and find yourself. So many beautiful big hoardings. They don't hoard anything except our mind. They hoard minds. Those hoardings take away all our minds. They draw our attention, pull them easily. They'll pull your mind to such wonderful things. So that is what is Hanuman sees paradise. Hanuman found the lights burning steadily inside lamps of gold, mounted on lampposts also of gold, and bedimmed as it were by the splendor of Ravana in that chamber, as though they were in deep contemplation, like gamblers worsted in gambling by expert gamblers. See what all comparison is giving. The lights were there near the residence of Ravana. Lights were there. They are all made of gold. The lamp post is made of gold. The lamp is of gold, and the lights are burning. But despite the fact that they are beautiful light, they are all looking dimmed. They are all looking very, very dim because Ravana's light of aura is so beautiful that they all become dimmed, like a very good gambler in whose presence all the other gamblers are totally nothing. They are all looking puny. He thought that the chamber was ablaze with the brilliance of the lights and the glory of Ravana, as also the splendor of the ornaments. So the chamber was ablaze with brilliance. One is the personality brilliance. You may have a very small hut. A person may be living in a very small hut, but the moment you enter that hut, the presence you feel there is much more than a palace. If that person has a beautiful aura. At the same time, a person may be seated on a throne in a palace, but if you go there, you don't feel any human presence there. It's all because of the aura of that person. The aura is that beautiful radiation which comes from a personality because of the qualities in that person. Next, he found lying on the carpet at that moment thousands of belles wearing clothes and garlands of diverse hues and clad in various attires, nay, fallen dead asleep at night under the influence of drink and slumber, having retired after sport, half of the night having already passed. Now it's almost midnight. And naturally people are all there asleep, and then each one has got his own way of having spent the first part of the night after having food and then enjoyment. They are all fast asleep. Fast asleep and adorned with jewels such as girdle and ankles, which did not make their peculiar tinkling sound. The bevy shone brightly like a large bed of lotuses, with the swans and bees sitting calm and quiet without any noise. You have the day with all activity. You have the night still. So what a beautiful contrast Paramatma has made. Wonderful. Everything suddenly wakes up when the sun rises. And then when the sun sets, gradually everything becomes calm and calm and calm. Ultimately, you see by 11 o'clock, 11, he goes the very same lake where you saw birds were beautifully running around, flying and coming, sitting down. Where you heard the chirping of birds and everything, you saw small insects. The night you go, absolutely calm. So silence also Paramatma has created. Darkness also is there in this world. Light is there, activity is there, and then passive, absolutely passive state of affairs is also there in the world. Everything we see in this creation. We'll pause here today. We'll continue Sri Ramcharitmanas.